First and foremost, thank you for landing onto this page. My name is Mandisa, for those of you who don't know me. And I think it's just that time for me to be able to share what it is that I learn from yoga on the mat, and to be able to sort of allow you to have that space, to have that interchange between being on your mat and off the mat. Now, I recently started a series. It's a 5-part yoga series, and I'll be doing more. But what I want to do just before the next one is just share what we've done in the previous one. So you basically get some information as to what, at least what I'm all about, what my practice is all about, and what I feel on my heart to really share. So I ask that you just open up your hearts and that you'll be able to receive this information, and that you'll be able to, most importantly, use this information to your full benefit, because yoga is such a gift. The intelligence of this practice, Krishnamurti says the description is not the described. So I can't fully describe it in words, but usually when I'm in service, I hope that you can feel it as a practitioner, fellow practitioner as well. You'll be able to feel the medicine that we are gifted with through yoga. So, breath. First thing is to show up, which you've already done on this page, or you have already done through the workshop series. And there's 4 concepts of breath that I want to particularly just talk about, and that I taught about in the series. And the first one is the still breath. So breath moves, the air moves, oxygen flows. And the still breath is the drop into your body breath. And here, generally, how I would use that and teach that is through meditation. So starting off through meditation, starting off through either doing a yin or a restorative practice. This still breath just is, and you are able to hopefully just tap into that and use the breath to ground yourself. Usually this breath will just be naturally from the nostrils. Hopefully when you come into the meditation, you allow yourself to pay attention to the area around the nostrils. Eventually the breath becomes cool, and you allow yourself to let everything from the external filter out so that you can internally just reflect. 2, we come into the controlled breath. Usually here you are bringing your body back into consciousness. So how I did teach this was we lay down on our back and we did a particular breath. I work with square breath quite a bit because it's one of the most simplest sort of like breathing styles. So I'll just talk about that one for now so I don't talk too long here. Square breath, you breathe in 4. If you want to, you can hold 4 or just pause. Exhale for 4 and then hold 4 or just pause. Yeah, same thing. Exhale for 4 and then pause. So you use that to bring yourself back to consciousness. So when people constantly say, remind yourself to breathe, remember to breathe, it's bringing yourself back into the body. And by bringing yourself back into the body, you allow yourself to have one point of focus. Then we move into the rhythmic breath. The rhythmic breath is also part of the moving meditative breath, where it is the heating breath that we use, Ujjayi breath. So here, I remember a teacher teaching me this, and it was just profound and always just stuck, is that envision with Ujjayi breath, that you moving your breath from the base of your throat. So envision as if your nostrils are right here in this area. So if you can hear me, It's this sound. Now, when you start moving from here, usually what I'll teach is use your index finger, place it right near the clavicle, and breathe from there, envisioning. And naturally, your breath will heat up, and naturally, you'll be able to invoke a kumbhaka, which is a breath retention, which is very important as well for your yoga practice. You don't necessarily need to hold it for too long, but just that breath retention gives you space to observe what is happening, the invitation to open up, the inhale to receive it, and the exhalation to release, whatever it is that's no longer serving you from the breath, the carbon dioxide. Then lastly, we move back into the still breath, and usually here it will be a shavasana or back into a restorative shape where you can receive all of this breath from the still to the controlled to the moving to the still again. It just creates a full circle. And then here, hopefully at this point in your practice, no matter how long it has been, hopefully that you've started off with an intention that it's no longer the unconscious mind, but that the unconscious mind becomes the conscious mind that meets the conscious body. And when those two meet, there's just alignment, there's coherency, there's an isness about everything. And that's what it is about. So this is just part one. And I hope you enjoyed this information. I hope it resonated with you. Listen to it again if it didn't. Ask questions. I want to be able to use this platform so that I'm not only closing myself off to teach in a classroom, but that I can also just teach verbally to whoever is listening right now. So deep gratitude. And I'm glad I got that out of the way. And I will share part two.